Sprite Castle. Sprite Castle. Sprite Castle.
Mr. Rob O'Hara.
Sprite Castle.
Man, I started my dinner 3 minutes ago. I should have started 3 minutes and 15 seconds ago. Last bite down the hatch. Wow, I can't believe it is Wednesday, hump day. It does not feel like a Wednesday to me. If you've ever had one of those vacations that kind of starts in the middle of the week, ends in the middle of the week, that's what my week has been like. For those of you, I think everybody here probably knows. I spent the weekend in Hurricane, West Virginia, at a little event we like to call Boatfest. Boatfest is a retro gaming, retro computer gathering of like-minded individuals. I'm working on a blog post. I'll probably get the blog post out tonight or tomorrow. But one of the things I said in the blog post was it's difficult to say what Boatfest is because Boatfest is different things to different people. In the blog post I wrote, for some people, it's about taking old computers, vintage equipment, and showing it off. For other people, it's about going and seeing those things. For some people, it's about reconnecting with old friends. For some people, it's about making new friends. For some people, it's all about the events. For some people, it is all about the things between those events, the gaming and the conversations and stuff. So it's all of those things. It's all of those things. I think I wrote on my Patreon that the spirit of Boatfest, I would say, reminds me not of those large gaming conventions that I went to in the 2000s, like CGE and some of those other things. It reminds me more of like the old CopyFest days, or just it could be, sometimes you went to a computer group or a computer meeting and it turned into a CopyFest, and sometimes CopyFests were kind of computer meetings, but they were all just these groups of people that all liked computers and liked playing games and like, showing off their stuff. In a way, I mentioned this on Patreon. In a way, it's kind of like a classic car show, not an official car show that's put on by something, but like a car show that just kind of, those car shows where just local people bring their cars and everybody has their hoods open. And so half the time you're showing off your car. You're hoping people will come by and you're like, look what I did to my engine. Look at this, But the other half, you walk around, look at everyone else's cars, and you're like, oh, that's cool. And that's kind of like that's like the spirit of Boatfest to me. It's just that thing. It's one of those events where you get that joy from people looking at the stuff that you brought, but also you get to see other people's stuff. An amazing time, a great time. As some of you know, I decided this year we would travel to Boatfest in a boat, not a literal boat, but a figurative boat, a Class B RV that we rented. I talked my buddy Jeff into going with me. It wasn't a hard sell. Jeff is... this is a funny way to put it. It's not really, doesn't really describe our relationship, but it's kind of like Han Solo and Chewbacca, like where Han Solo just goes, hey, I got this dumb idea. Like I'm going to, fly into an asteroid and do that. And Chewie's like, okay, I'm along for the ride. And that's Jeff. I am the constant comer-upper of bad ideas, crazy ideas. And Jeff goes along with the ride, sometimes to have fun, sometimes for the adventure, and sometimes to bail me out of my own odd choices. So all those things happened during Boatfest. So what we're going to do tonight is I picked out 2 games that I enjoyed playing when I was younger that both have to do with boats. And we're going to play those, and then in between those two, I'm going to go through the pictures that I took at Boatfest. Now, a lot of people that were there have took pictures and are posting them online, and a lot of those are better than mine. And it's funny to see the show through different people's eyes. It's like I looked at some people's pictures. I looked at one set of pictures that were posted, and there's not a single picture of me in there. Not that I was flipping through looking for myself, but I just was like, I just never ran into that person, really. I mean, I knew they were there, but like when they came to my table, I was somewhere else, and so we just didn't connect that way. And there are other people's pictures that I look at stuff and I go, I didn't really see that. I didn't see that. So there's a lot to see. Drazu asks if who's the voice of reason, me or Rat, and it really depends on not just the day, but the point in the conversation, because it flips back and forth constantly. Like in the old days, I would go. So Andy was kind of like my carpenter, woodworking tool friend. Jeff knows all that stuff too. But like I would say something like, I want to have a ridiculously loud stereo in my Ford Festiva, and so then we all sat down and brainstormed and said, well, the best way to do that would first be to remove the back seats. So we took the back seats out, and then Andy built a speaker box that held 4 12-inch subwoofers and all this, and Jeff got to wiring, because Jeff is the mad scientist of wiring and soldering, and pretty soon we had a stereo system that when we first tried it, we turned it up, and I was kind of on the other side, and they said, you better come around to the front. And as we were turning out, every time that the bass was hitting, there was this little crack in my windshield, and every time it hit, the crack was growing a little bit. We also took turns putting random things on top of my car to see how high we could get them to bounce, because the metal was so thin on the top of the car that it was just shaking like this, and we were putting Coke cans and things up there to make it bounce, which is a funny trick until later when you go look and there are big cracks in your paint because the metal has flexed so much. So it's like, so there was a point where they were the voice of reason, and I was like, let's do this crazy thing. And they're like, I don't know if you want to do that. But then at some point, then I'm the voice of reason, like, okay, it's loud enough. We've done that. So yeah, I think we balance each other out. And towards the end of the trip, it was Steel Rat who bailed me out once again to help me do a few tiny repairs to the RV so that somebody could keep his deposit for slight damages done to an RV. So we may be talking about some of those things later. So let's get started with a game that I played when I was a kid on my Apple II. It's not much to this game, but I always enjoyed it. And it may be one that you've seen, maybe one that you haven't seen. Let's go over to the game screen. And let's get the Apple up and running here. By the way, I took my Apple II to Boatfest with my CFFA cartridge, our card, CFFA 3000, which is the internal card that allows you to load Apple II disk images off of a USB stick or a compact flash card. And again, there are so many different levels of interest of people that are at this show that some people were totally asking me questions about the card. How does it work? How do you like it? Things like that. Show me the menu system. And then there were other people that just wanted to play a game. They were like, can you play Load Runner? Yeah, sure. And you put Load Runner on, and they were completely happy. So, hey, Petzel's in the house. Petzel was another person who's at Boatfest, and you will see him in some of my pictures later in between the two games that we played. But the first game, the boat-inspired game, is a game for the Apple II called Swashbuckler. And I haven't hit space to continue loading because I think it starts pretty quick. By the way, I've returned to the house and my wife and kids are on vacation. They went on a cruise, a Mexican cruise to Cozumel. So they sent us pictures. They sent me pictures of them swimming in what looks like a cave in Mexico with fish, and I sent them pictures of us trying to figure out how to drain the septic tank on the RV. So I don't know why they think they got the better vacation here. By the way, we're having a little Return of the Jedi juice here. I've talked about this in the stream before. I have a complete set of these. I have a complete set of the McDonald's drinking glasses. I have the Burger King glasses. I have a few other, and then I have odds and ends after that, like a couple Muppet Keepers, a couple of Smurfs and all that. But I will save one of these. Like, I have the Return of the Jedi one, so I will save those. But then if I see duplicates and they're cheap, I buy them, and they go into rotation. It's one of those things that I like looking at them on the shelf. But I mean, at the end of the day, they're glasses, and they're meant to be drank out of. I have heard all the horror stories about the lead and the paint. I actually read a thing where it said, if you take like 200 of these and scrape all the paint off and then eat that, then you can get some effects of the lead. But I don't plan to do that. And I feel like the lead and the lead paint on these, it puts me in the same danger area as eating raw cookie dough. And I've given many people permission, if either of those things kill me, feel free to put it on my tombstone, because A, I will have deserved it, and B, I think it's hilarious. So, I mean, if you go to a cemetery and it just says, "Here lies Jack Flack, died from eating raw cookie dough," I think I'm okay with that. So, the game of Swashbuckler is pretty simple. There will be people coming from the left and from the right, and we have to swashbuckle them. More accurately, we just have to stab them. The controls, which I had to look up, I forget from time to time. On the left-hand side of the keyboard, you have the letters A, D, and S. A moves left, D moves right, and S flips you left and right, so you spin around 180. On the other side, you've got I, J, M, and L. I puts your sword up. M puts it in the middle. M puts it down, which you need a lot. And L is lunge and stab. So those are the controls. And here we go. As you can see, once you get past that screen. So this is me in the middle. This is a ogre type dude. And when he raises his thing up there, then we get him. Let's see here. Trying to, you know what? It sounds like the sound is coming from the speakers and not through the stream, although the sound isn't terribly interesting. But that is, I'm afraid what it's gonna be. Now, once you've killed the first two, now you start getting two at a time. And there's a trick to keeping these guys down, and that is once you kill him, lunge immediately again, and if he regenerates, they regenerate like just a slight bit further back from where you stabbed him. So the idea is to push him back against the edge, and then you can stab him. You stab that guy and the guy that regenerated. And then, see, I wasn't quite to the edge. You kind of got to push them all the way back to the edge to do this trick, which is not that hard to do. Now we got to flip around and hit M to stab that guy in the ground. Oh, flip, M. Okay. Come on, raise that. Let's push this guy back a little bit. By the way, if you see it on the bottom, my score, that's how many people we've killed. That's the only score. 15 and 16 right there. I believe when I booted this up earlier, it said the current score on this disc is 230. I think you get 3 men. Oh. You don't actually have to. Oh, now we've switched to a pirate. You notice there's a pirate guys over here now. But same background, but background will be changing soon enough as well. All right. Hey, Texas, what's going on? You know, there were people from Texas at Boatfest. I think Tapes from the Crypt was from Texas. You could have come and just hopped in the LRV. You couldn't have got a worse bed than me and Jeff. If I owned an RV, I mean, the first thing I would do is just make all the beds sleepable. Like, and I mean, I think if you weigh $150, you know, then they're probably not terrible. But I don't weigh $150. Oh, here we go. Oh boy. So now we're at the level 2 guys. Now these guys have like these harpoons and spears and stuff, and they got a lot longer reach. So you kind of gotta go in, but you can't just run in as fast as we were before. Uh-oh, flip, down, flip. We actually talked about maybe stopping to get a inflatable mattress or something, or and we brought my wife had something, she said it's like for sleeping on in a tent like on the ground that unrolls and inflates or something. So we brought that, and then I brought the one of the mattresses from my van, which I put on top of the other mattress. I see you over there, dinosaur muskrat thing, whatever you are. Okay, so I mean, it's very doubtful that I would get the high score, which, like I said, I think is 200 and something, but I am doing really good. We'll say that. Now, see how they're closing in on me? Like, I should have tried to push that guy back a little bit. He stabbed me right in the back. I was trying to turn around and... one of the problems with this game is it's because it's all keyboard controls. You can kind of get like a keyboard buffer. Like if you hit stab, oh, now we're on the boat. If you hit keys like over and over and over, like you hit stab 10 times, then it will just build up like in the keyboard buffer. Oh, did you see that, dude? So if I could kind of push him back a little bit. Get back. Get back. Get back, Jojo. Oh, no, that wasn't fair. Well, that was just a nick. Jozu says he almost wishes that we could go back to games like this. And you know, the thing is that, I mean, even if you did, I don't know. Oh, this guy's aggressive. It looks like Pierre. I'm going to call this guy Pierre. Come on, Pierre. Oh, no. Jeez. The problem is I don't know what you would sell it for, because, I mean, there's games that are, oh, boy. Oh, got me with the edge of the thing. I'm on my last man. That guy's coming. There's a scorpion coming. That guy's coming. Oh. That's it. 63 and the high score is 231. Gets a little crazy there towards the end. I mean, there are big, huge, amazing games that are 99 cents on Steam. You know what I mean? So I don't know if you did a game like this. What would you charge for it? You know, nickel? I don't know what people would pay for something like this. Just scrolling back. Yeah, Pencil says that was a mystery to meet Tapes. I agree with you. I hadn't seen him. I hadn't met him before or heard his voice. So yeah, he was a cool guy to meet and talk to. I do feel like there were lessons in the RV that could be applied to the van. And one of the lessons is like stuff like there's parts of the RV that they spent a ton on that I never used, you know? And so those are just things that and also in the RV, there's an area like there's like one of those booth bench seats, you know? And then between that and the rear bed, there was this wide storage thing that went floor to ceiling. You could have stored a ton of stuff in it. And what they had were 3 pull-out drawers, and then which was like half of it, and then the other half was a giant closet. And in the closet, they had blankets and pillows. So, and that was all filled, just blankets and pillows. And then the bottom drawers, 2 of them were cutlery and silverware, and then the bottom one was towels. So it was this entire storage thing, and it was just filled up with just a few minor things and stuff that we didn't need. Like, we didn't use any other silverware. We didn't use any other stuff. So yeah, it was for us, you know, like I would never build a dedicated thing for silverware in a small vehicle like that, you know. Oh, look at this dude. Amigo Aaron said he liked how at the end of the game everybody just did a little dance, and I do agree with that. It's kind of like, it's almost like a play. Like at the end they're like, all right, take a bow, everybody. Drezu asked if Tintin was there. Tintin was not there. I have not met Tintin in person. I would love to. I know, he lives in my town. And I know approximately, I know what part of town he lives in, generally speaking. And I would, one of these days, I would love to just hit him up and say, hey, I'm going to a flea market or something. You know, you want to go meet me there, and then just go walk around and look at that. I'm going to do that one of these days. But today they were saying on the news that there's a chance that we will break the all-time high temperature in Oklahoma, which is currently 105 degrees. So I haven't been watching the temperature closely because, surprisingly, I've spent as much time as possible today indoors. So I am like I don't want to see 105. I'm enjoying, I'm an air conditioner, indoor type of guy. Oh boy. Cobra Kai. Oh, that was weird. Little Cobra Kai. Oh, look, it changed right there to the pirate. It's always it's a good, I don't say you should depend on that trick. So you can kind of trick them sometimes by putting your sword up. And then they'll raise their sword. And then you can stick them. Or sometimes they'll just stab you if you're doing that. See, like that. Amigo Aaron says the RV is like a rental house. They try to set you up to make it so you have everything you need. normally that you wouldn't do that. Well, I agree with you. And one of the things that the guy said was like, he said there was a lot of stuff in there, and he said some of it wasn't his. He said, because like, for example, if you're going to go in there, maybe you're shopping beforehand and you buy a roll of paper towels. Well, then you use 10 paper towels. So what do? You just leave the rest of them in the RV, right? So there was already stuff in there from other people. And he said, so, come on, die. Okay, let's push this dude back a little bit. Oh no, we didn't push it back that far. Okay, but that's good. There was but this is the other funny thing too, and this is just kind of how Jeff and I travel, or I mean me, I know. But so there were things that, like in the RV, like there was a propane stovetop. There was a Keurig. There was a microwave. There were all these things there available to prepare food and eat food and all that. And then every morning we went to McDonald's, or twice we went to Biscuit World. Tudors. I don't know if it's Tudors or Two Doors. Biscuit World in Hurricane. So, oh boy. Okay, now we're out to the harpoon level here. I won't you die. So, we could have cooked food. We could have done all those things, but we just chose not to, right? Especially in the morning when you're like, you just want some coffee. You want to go in and sit down. And also, it's like you're when you're in the RV, you're in this cramped space, and, even if you're stretched out, it just feels a little claustrophobic, like you're closed in all the time, So in the morning, the last thing I wanted to do was cook breakfast in there. I wanted to get out, stretch my legs, walk into McDonald's, like go in McDonald's. Like I don't normally go inside McDonald's and eat, but to go inside there, it's just a nice break from being in the RV, right? So, But it's different too. Like if we were at a campground or something, then obviously we would be doing that. Or if we were on the road, or if we were also trying to save money, right? But we had budgeted for the trip and for food and stuff, so we weren't trying to save, every last cent. But yeah, and also I think if you had like kids or something, then yeah, if you have kids, you take a loaf of bread and sandwich stuff, and you have a lot of sandwiches. But we just, we were just having fun, and that's what I told Jeff. Oh no, this dude got a little aggressive over here. You need to get back on your side over there, buddy. Yeah, like that. All right, here comes old Pierre. We're back to Pierre here. What are we at, 55? What did I get last time? 60-something? Oh, and that's another good point. Curtis says the only time he wanted to stay in when there was bad weather, we had the privilege to take advantage of Amigo Aaron's generosity and parked the RV in his driveway. So we felt safe the entire time. And so that wasn't an issue. But some of the amenities in the RV, like the air conditioner, run off of the generator. You have to have the generator going. And we didn't particularly want to give Aaron trouble with his neighbors by running the generator all night next to their house. So we got me with the old poison stick there. Oh, little ogre Larry's coming out swinging. But and this, by the way, this game is exactly what Boatfest was like. If you didn't see the pictures, it was literally just some people, Oh, I forgot. I could push his body. I forgot about that. I'm pushing your body back over there, Pierre. It was just, a bunch of people in a room stabbing each other with poison clubs and pirate swords and harpoons. Exactly what it was like. Yeah, it was. I mean, I don't know why they call it Boatfest. Should just been called Crazy Sword Stab Fest. Really. Oh, hey, Tintin. So Boatfest comes from the organizer, who's alien. Oh no! Oh no! Did I die? I think I died. I think the muskrat got me. Comes from the organizer whose alias is Boat of Car. Boat is one of the two hosts of the Amigos podcast as well. And Boat of Car, which is a odd phrase in English, Boat of Car, is also a They Might Be Giants song, which I listened to on YouTube not too long ago for the first time. I'd never heard that song. And I believe... Oh, no! If the song is to be taken on level, it's literally about a giant big car. I got a bad feeling about this one. Oh boy. Yeah, he's just too close. Dance party, we are all dead. Running the gauntlet was L. Curtis Boyle's favorite part of Boatfest. He only needed 27 stitches this year. You know, I'm surprised nobody needed stitches from the ramp to get to Boatfest, which was, I'm going to go out on a limb and say not ADA compliant. There was a ramp. So the convention was upstairs from a pub that has closed down. But so between the time that the event was organized and the time that it happened, the pub downstairs closed down. And so there's a ramp for everyone to get their equipment up. And the first day it was raining a little bit, and my feet, there were like those strips of like grip tape on there, like boat grip tape, you know. But there was a time or two where my feet, if you didn't step directly on those, your feet slipped a little bit. And I was very, very surprised that there weren't any accidents. We're going to give Swashbuckler one more round. The current high score, my current high score is 80. We are playing a couple of boat inspired games on tonight's stream in honor of Boatfest. So after this game, we'll take a short break. I will learn English, and then we will take a look at... I didn't take a lot of photos, maybe 30 or so. We'll take a look at my photos from this year's Boatfest. And there's a very good chance, I think about 2/3 of the people that are in this chat right now may see themselves. Oh, Tintin says he has just ordered the components for a Mister. I highly recommend it. I was just playing mine earlier. They just added, last week they added about 10 new arcade cores, 2 of which were Jungle King and Elevator Action. So I tried those out last night. They work great. Mister, of course, is super accurate. They prefer the term simulation over emulation. But what's even better than that is not the level of accuracy, although that level of accuracy is amazing. But the thing that I love the most about it is when you turn it on, there's a script you could run, or that you have to run, more or less, called Update All. And Update All goes through and goes, well, here's every emulator, and it just downloads everything. Or there's an update, and it updates everything, or there's new BIOSes, or this or that, or updates to the actual Mr. Core. So, it's not like, man, with a Raspberry Pi, where you're constantly having to upgrade things, or I remember with WinVice, and I love WinVice, but I found out I'd been running an outdated version for years. I just didn't know. I never looked for an update. So, just for that aspect of it right there makes it so convenient. I really enjoy that feature. Yeah, the ramp was questionable. Mr. Gordonfield, this is running on an Apple II. This is running on an Apple II emulator. This is. I don't know that this ever got ported to the Commodore 64. Maybe it did, but I'm not sure. But this is a Swashbuckler, and then this is by the same guy that did Aztec. If you ever played Aztec on the Apple, that's why the graphics look similar. The guy looks similar. Oh boy. Now level 2. I don't know, maybe it's level 3. Hard to keep track. Down. Triple stab. Got the scorpion and the dude. Now, again, I got to go back to my trick we learned. The further apart these guys are, the more time you have. So you could kind of... I don't know that you're supposed to be able to scoot his body back. I mean, the idea is that... Because really the game makes that happen because it doesn't want both guys on the same side. It always wants you to have a guy on each side. Because why would it let you do that? Tintin says there's basically a 2-month lead time for the DE10, which is the main board on the Mister. But you can save some money doing it that way, and it's always kind of rewarding, to put that stuff together yourself. If you need help getting anything up on that, definitely reach out. I think about half the people here have Misters. I'm going to be in trouble if this Muskrat Love shows up. Why don't you stay over there, Captain Cook, while I push your buddy back over here. Yeah, the problem with the price of Misters for a long time just kept going up and up and up, and now there's one card. Had my finger off the M button. There's two to for the Mister you have to have one card for sure. You have to have the DE10, right? I was trying to check it. This guy behind me is getting a little aggressive. Then the second is you got that USB add-on thing, which I don't know. Not everybody has. I have that, and it's just like a thing with USB. Like there's 7 USB ports all around there, which I don't know what all people put on there. It's like I put a mouse and a keyboard. Like if you're going to do computer emulation, that's kind of handy, for Amiga or Atari ST, stuff like that. And then this guy's getting a little aggressive. Oh, and then now you're going to send old Spearhead Johnny after me here. Now this dude. You go back over there. So yeah, I definitely don't use all my USB ports. And then the third board that goes on the top gives you, there's 2 choices. And one gives you a second digital output for video. And the other one gives you analog output for video, like a VGA port. And that's the one I chose. And each one of those give you physical buttons on the top of the Mister. Now, when I bought mine, I thought, I don't understand how you would use this thing without those physical buttons. You have to have the buttons. You have to have the buttons. That was my opinion at first. I will say now that I never, ever, ever use the buttons. I never use the buttons because you can do what the buttons do either through the controller mostly. Oh boy, this is bad. I gotta get you to go back. Why don't you go back to caveman land over there a little bit? No. Oh. Go back. No, go back. I didn't mean to kill you. Oh, now we got Captain. Oh, boy. This is. Well, look at my score. This is beat my score from last time. It's a miracle. Somebody call the news. Oh, call the pirate news. Is there? No! He was getting too fast. Look how fast he's going now. Oh, that's what I need. A giant tarantula. You get over there. It's like I didn't mean to kill you. Oh, he killed me twice. You see that? He got all three of my guys. Oh, no. 92. That's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay. Let's go over to look at some photos of Boatfest. I did not take this photo. This was on Twitter today, and this is a good. I think it's a pretty good shot of. Let me see here. Let's see. We got. Let's see. I don't know if people want me to point them out. If you don't want to be pointed out. Now, so I see Boat back here. Is Boat? Has Boat been photoshopped into this? But I see. Let's see. I see. Well, this is here. We've got Adam, Commodore Chronicles here on the front row. This is. I'm not going to name everybody, but just I know Petzel. Where's Petzel at? I know he's got to be in this picture somewhere in the back here, right? All the tall guys are in the back. Why am I missing Petzel? We got Jason Warrens. I don't think Jason Warrens in the stream tonight, but Jason Warrens shows up. Here's the one and only amigo Aaron hanging out here. Here's Petzel hanging out back here. The one and only Graham Vebke, who's a Patreon supporter. This is Mitsuyama, who is another Patreon supporter. Level Lord. We got Pajako in here. 48K Ram, if you watch his streams, he's right here. There's me hiding back here. By the way, I don't normally wear a backwards baseball hat. Oh, there's Petzel right there. I'm like literally covering Petzel's face here. I don't normally wear a backwards baseball hat, but when I got up to do my presentation, I was wearing a forwards baseball hat, and it was blocking all the lights, and on the stream they couldn't see my face, so I had to turn that around. But you got John Marshall, a lot of the locals in here. And of course, right here is the one and only Steel Rat hanging out here on the far right over here. This is Petzel hanging out back right over here, right next to me. So a good, and I don't think this was everybody that was there. Look at this. I didn't notice this is going on over here. A little love connection. We got amigo Aaron with his hand around Steel Rat. What's going on over here? So I think, I thought Steel Rat came with me, and now he's leaving with Aaron over here. I see. I see that. He's a share. Oh, and L. Curtis Boyles. Did I point out L. Curtis Boyles right here next to this pole, which we decided could have been used for pole dancing, but we decided against that towards the end. And this is Frank from Retro Rewind, right up here in front. And did I point out Jason Warren's over here, who did just nonstop work fixing broken computers and everything like that. So these are just the pictures that I took. This is the RV of Doom, parked in my driveway as we were loading it up. This is the first night, so I will tell you quickly that we tried to park at a Love's, and they were full. We tried to park at we couldn't find a casino. There wasn't a Cracker Barrel. Walmart wouldn't let us park. Like, all my plans fell apart on day one. Everything that I had planned did not work out. And so we ended up going to a rest stop. And so that's where we parked. And those, by the way, those are magnets that normally are on my golf cart. And before I left, I put them on the front of the RV. We thought we'd give it a little bit of attitude on the front of the RV. Tintin says the van life people on YouTube make it look so easy. God, you're not kidding. And I told Jeff, there was two things that we didn't realize. Number one is that it is a constant state of Tetris. The only place in the RV to put our stuff was on the beds. So everything goes on the beds every day, and then when you go to the bed, everything has to come off the bed. And then you're looking for stuff, and it's behind other stuff that you've moved around, and then you put it back on. I mean, it's just constant moving of stuff, just constantly. And the other thing is, it felt like we were constantly in fight or flight mode. Like, we were constantly, the battery was always running out just a little bit. We were always using gas. We were always looking for a place on the road. We got to find a place to sleep. We got to find, but everything, you're using these finite resources constantly. And so that's just what it felt like to me. It was like you're just, there's no time to relax or rest, because you're just searching for solutions all the time, Drazu asked if we would do the RV thing again or stick to cars and hotels. I don't know. Right now I'm like, I'll never get an RV again, but that could change. I will say that this cost probably 3 times what it would cost to fly or drive there and stay in a hotel. Like, it was super expensive. So we didn't save any money, but it was just, it was fun. It was an adventure. You know what I mean? It was something to do. And there were parts of it that were fun, just hanging out in there and sitting there and playing video games and going over there to just a couple times during Boatfest, we just took a break and went over there and to sit down in the RV for a few minutes, run the air, and have a drink and grab a beer or something and just kind of sit and chill out. So, Aaron says he knows what the answer would have been Saturday morning. Saturday morning, I would have sold you this RV for $3. So, by the way, this was something I didn't really talk about at Boatfest, but the first night when we went to go make one of the beds, this was the cockroach that crawled out. So now I will say this. Neither one of us are fans of cockroaches. And I've heard all these horror stories, like when you see one, there's got to be 1,000 hiding, or 100 you can't see or anything like that. We never saw this one again, and we never saw any others. And we kind of think, because of where we were parked, it came in through the door, because we had the door open and we were going, walking over to the bathroom and stuff. So we think it came in, and then we think it went out. We never saw it again. We actually stopped to buy. We were going to buy some Roach Motel stuff for it, and then we never saw it again. So, but it was enough to keep us off that bed. So nobody slept on that bed. This is us the next morning, getting ready to head out. My wife said, "Hey, how's all the food I packed? Are you guys doing some cooking? Are you doing all that?" And I sent her this picture, and this is us parked at a random McDonald's. It was just easier, And like I said, once you've been in there all night and all day driving, then you just wanted to get out, take a break, stretch your legs. This is us. This picture's a little off center and you can't really tell, but we're doing about 70 miles an hour. There are signs all over the RV that say, "Don't stand up, don't sit at the thing while driving," all these things. And then Jeff was like, "Hey, I'm going to go get a snack." And he went to the back. So, yeah, not advisable, especially with me driving. So here's us walking into, getting stuff set up at Boatfest. There were these round tables, and I don't know how many of there were, the 5 or 6 that were available. People just kind of grabbed tables and started setting up. If you've ever watched any of the TSI Saturday Night Gaming thing, this is TSI Matt over here. Matt was our personal chauffeur. He drove us. We went. The group went to dinner every night of Boatfest, and we rode with him every single night. And it was, when you go to these things and you worry. You're like, how are we going to get there? How are we going to do this? And so it's everybody that's there, that's literally there, that puts this on, is like accommodating. They're like, "Hey, we want to help you. We want to help take care of whatever you need." So this was my table. I brought my SX. We hadn't even set stuff up yet, but I brought my SX64, and I brought a that Apple II that I talked about. There's me about to go night in the RV the first night. I think we did shots of liquor because the mattresses were so miserable that it was comfortable. Oh yeah, Buck says that Matt is shipping out the auction stuff he won. And I'll show you some pictures of some of the stuff that was in the auction here in just a minute. But Matt was also responsible. He was kind of the liaison between the Discord people that weren't able to make it to Boatfest, who still wanted to bid on things that were in the auction. This is dinner at, what was this place called? Fat Patty's, I think was the name of it. And, this is like a who's who. If you listen to any of the podcasts that are on the Amigos network or go to these streams or anything, Fat Patty's. Yeah. We've got Petzel and his wife here. Pajako is here. This is 48K Ram, Mitsuyama. This is Pack Billy and his brother, who come into the streams, sometimes. There's Matt again. This is John Marshall, who's a local and comes to some of the streams. Of course, the big man himself, Mr. Amigo Aaron, right here, who is kind of an unsung hero. And there's his son Luke just poking out right there. And Luke comes to the show and enjoys seeing all this stuff too. And then I guess Boat took this picture, so he's not in it. And then in the back corner, this was the cool kids table. We got Matt, we got Steel Rat, we got me, and then Graham Vebke. I did not know Graham Vebke was such a big baseball fan. Graham Vebke is from Australia, so I didn't know he was that much into baseball, but he was definitely following everything that was going on the baseball game. Let's see. So this is us probably getting set up Friday morning. Would it be Friday afternoon after the Thursday night dinner? And this is kind of a back view of my table. This was my Commodore 64 that had broke, or so I had thought, that I brought all the way from Oklahoma 1,000 miles. And the guys from Retro Rewind looked at it, brought it back over to me, and said nothing wrong with it. They said, it's probably your power supply. But I've tried 2 power supplies. It's not my power supply, but I think what it is my video cable. So the Commodore 64 turned on, worked great. Let's see. This was there's some magazines that were set up. This is the back of my SX64 in the Apple, and just some random people setting things up. I took a lot of pictures like this of just, random shots of the room, which seem like they're going to be great. And then when you come home and you go, God, these are terrible pictures. So this is a terrible picture. You can't see Boat right here as we were getting everything set up. We were running some extension cables and making sure everything had power. By the way, as I talk about different aspects of Boatfest, this table right here just said free stuff. So if you had stuff you wanted to give away, people just brought things in here and laid them out. Level Lord. Level Lord, this guy has like the amazing, Aaron, you might remember the specifics, but this amazing Amiga computer that is like all decked out. It's got like all these upgrades and stuff like that. Like he uses it as a modern computer. Like when you bring a computer and it's wrapped in bubble wrap and stuff, like that's a sign, Yeah, an Amiga X5000, like it's crazy, state of the art. This is Mr. Cola with some of his stuff that he had set up, and I forgot who this guy is. Was it retro somebody? It wasn't somebody that I met, or that I got to talk to much. But these tables over here, this is where items for the auction began being stacked, and I've got some pictures of that stuff later. Let's see. Oh yeah. Level Lord, for the people that were able to stay till Monday, he's rented this Airbnb for a week, and he had a barbecue, and a lot of the locals got to go over there. Every picture I have, it just has Matt standing in the middle of it, just standing off to the side, looking, just looking on, just kind of wondering, seeing if anybody needs help, but also just kind of watching the rest of us goofballs move stuff around. Here's another shot kind of from our table area. Just random stuff getting set up. Oh, this is kind of just a video pan of what the room looked like. Just a quick scan of random things. This is us parked in next to Amigo Aaron's driveway, getting the RV all situated over here. Is that who is that? Is that Jason Warren's? No, it's hard to tell who that is with the 3D glasses on. But this was they were playing is that Curtis? Yeah, I think because of the next one, he's standing up. But they were playing this game on the Coco that was 3D. So, and I was like, to me, this is the picture of Boatfest. I love this picture. It is just kind of sums up what was going on there. Steel Rat says, and hello, by the way. He says he wanted to bounce in and say thank you all for making him feel so welcome, and that he had an awesome time. But his wife's family is in town. They were. He said we definitely had to be back by Wednesday. So, yes, I was just Jeff. I was singing your praises earlier, talking secretly because I haven't got my deposit yet. But so I'm not talking too much about some of the amazing modifications that were made to the RV. But if it weren't for Steel Rat, I probably would have lost a pretty good size deduction. It's their 53rd anniversary. Man, that's awesome. Let's see. Yeah, so here's Curtis, and looks like Jason Warren's playing the 3D game here. Like I said, I think that picture of Curtis with the 3D glasses, like to me, that's like Boatfest, man. That's just like people seeing stuff and playing it or whatever. It was fun. Here's just some random gaming, just looking at things. This was I think the Astro Duel, this was Pac Billy's tournament that we were playing back there. And it was, if you've never played it, they played it on the Nintendo Switch, and it's kind of like a cross between almost like Omega Race and Asteroids, and it's 4 players, but it's survival. It's last man standing. And I was. It's too bad you couldn't name your character, because I would have been named Collateral Damage. I was pretty much the first guy shot every single time. I was not good at it, but it was fun. It's all good fun. There's Vebke. What is this? Is this the BBC Micro that he's playing on here? Trying to look here, yeah. It was like every table. BBC Master, yeah. This was what a 48K RAMs setups over here. Just every table had stuff, that I hadn't seen. It was amazing. Drazu says, are those NES cartridges in the background? Yeah, I sold 50 Nintendo cartridges at the auction. I put them in packs of 10 and set them with $1 per game reserve. And they all sold. I think Pajako bought 40 of the 50. Here's a computer that looks kind of familiar. We could kind of see that down there. I believe, was this Adams? What's funny is when you're in the room, I knew what each one was, but now that all the pictures are all jumbled around, but I think this was Adams Tandy, I think. And man, this thing was clean. God, I want one of these again now. Ugh. Yeah, that was cool. There's a little Apple Atari goodness. Now, I gotta say, for my vote, this was the coolest display at the show, I thought. And everybody has the thing that trips their trigger, right? This is Petzl's Amiga 2000 with a video toaster. Now, a video toaster was like, it's a video production suite, I guess you would say, video editing, video composting or composting, I don't know. But I've heard it my whole life, and it was just one of those like unobtainium things that you heard people talk about. I never saw one. I never personally saw one in real life. And so let me tell you about the type of people that go to Boatfest. Petzl has this thing set up. Now you could just set it up and go, look at this cool thing I have. I mean, that's what I did. I just set stuff up and I go, oh, there it is. Petzl has the toaster set up here. He's got a camera up there. On the right, the Commodore monitor was like the current, like the live feed. And on the left is like the preview feed, right? So it's kind of like camera 1, camera 2, like the one that's coming in hot, and then the one that's on the right is hot, right? So I was like, hey, I want you to show me this. Okay, he runs through like a half-hour demo. He shows me what every button on the toaster does. We go through all the stuff. I feel like I don't know. I probably know 2%. But if I sat down, I know like what the areas do now. I know the switcher. I remember that part, Pets. We do the whole thing. But if you look over here in the far bottom right, this monitor is sitting on a DVD recorder. So the output for the whole thing, everything that we did was go in and burn to a DVD-R. Check out right here. So the whole session, so it's like you get a souvenir, you get a demo, and it's not just a demo of some guy going, hey, this is 1, 2, 3, what it does. It's like you do it, like you understand it. I'm telling you, this is the display to beat. Like this one set the bar. Next year, this is my idea. I'm going to get Steel Rat to build me some RS-232 interface where we can control a popcorn popper with the Commodore. I think that's my idea so far. I don't know if that could work. But this was the thing. I mean, this was like a 1-2 combination of, number one, like a holy grail, right? Of something you've heard about your whole life. And then number two, for somebody to go, hey, by the way, it's like seeing your dream car and then having someone say, well, get in the driver's seat. I'll get in the passenger. We'll drive around the block. It was like that. And then you get a recording of your drive. It was very, very cool. And like I said, to do something hands-on with something that's that old and that, I mean, stuff's meant to be used, but it's also fragile. I thought it was really cool. So popcorn popper from RS-232. Okay, somebody write that down. Again, this is one of the quote-unquote problems with a CD32, or not with a CD32, with Boatfest, is that last year I brought my CD32, my NTSC one, which, is like a rare version of a rare console, of a rare thing, and there were like 3 or 4 of them there. You know what I mean? So, and by the way, I heard everybody say this. I didn't hear anybody notice Mr. Cola's tablecloth during the show. I don't remember it being there. I didn't know. And then in the pictures, it shows up as so green that it shows up in all the pictures. I did not notice the tablecloth, which is something that we also used to do at a lot of video game shows, that you'd bring a tablecloth, for a different color, a thing like that. But, yep, he's got the CD32 here. By the way, I sold my CD32. We may see I should have taken one final picture of it, but I don't think I did. This is that was this the new one? I don't remember. Oh, this is the Turbo Doer. The new one came out later. It's around here somewhere. And then there's one of these things. I forget what they're called. But there was one of those there. This is the auction table. All the stuff. I mean, down until you get like down here to the very end. This is all stuff for the auction. Now, some of these computers didn't work. Like this is an XT that didn't turn on, and it's probably just a power supply. So if you wanted to put a little bit of work, this Apple turns on and works, but it was having trouble reading the disk drives. So there were, some things, and then there's I think I've got a better picture. There were some Amigas that came in that were, I guess, donated so that the sales went to fund Boatfest. These were collections of discs. Look at these. When's the last time you walked into a room and you saw a stack of Amiga 2000s? You're like, well, I mean, this one's a 2500. But, yeah, there's a super drive, hard drive, some different stuff. And then I think, so this was a lot of my stuff that ended up getting sold at the auction. The Coco 1, this is a Magnavox, an Odyssey 500 Pong clone. I had some Xbox 360, PS2 games. These are Nintendo, lots of Nintendo games. Just stuff that I used and don't play anymore, or just to pass it on, And the thing about me personally is I have a hard time selling stuff. I have a hard time letting stuff go. Like if you've been to my house, you already know this. And to me, it makes it easier letting it go to another collector. Like if I was selling an arcade game and people would tell me, they're like, oh, I'm going to buy that and then I'm going to strip it and I'm going to, sell it for parts. And I was like, well, I don't want that to happen to it, even though if you're a good salesman, you don't care what happens to it. But I'm not a good salesman. I have connections to these things, emotional connections. So, if I were going to sell an arcade game to somebody for $300 who said they were going to part it out and $100 to someone who said it was their dream game, I would sell it to the $100 guy every time. It's not about the money. It's about finding good homes for stuff. And so that's why I brought a lot of this stuff to Boatfest, was not because I wanted money or because I was necessarily dying for it. It was just stuff that I don't use that much, and I wanted to find good homes for it, And Boatfest was full of people that were looking for good homes, They were good homes to take things away to. This giant beast of a thing, you may have seen these before. This is an At Games, I think it's called Legends joystick. It has 150 games built in. And this was the one thing, one of two things that we had our eye on at the auction. So Jeff said he wanted this. This was sold by 48K RAM. He had done a couple of modifications to it, and we looked at it. And so our idea was Jeff wanted it for his house, but also he said, we can hook this up in the van. We've got USB ports in the van. We have batteries. We've got HDMI cable, and in the RV we had a 40-inch TV. So we thought on the way back we could do some gaming. So that was part of that, and he did end up winning that. So that went back in the box, and it's back in Oklahoma, and it is currently at Steel Rat's house right now. I haven't tried it yet, but yeah, we're definitely going to give that a spin. Yeah, that monitor was super nice. That Trinitron monitor. Anyway, we'll get through the rest of this real quick. This is some of the Boatfest merch that was for sale. This is the big sign. I thought this was really cool. Now this is Boat's Pac-Man. This was originally one of those arcade 1-up machines. But I think the guts were broken or something, so he replaced it with a Raspberry Pi and all the vertical MAME games. And so this got some use during the show, and then it got auctioned off as well. Now, there was a second item that Jeff and I were watching, and it was this. And the reason was not because either one of us wanted it. I don't have a use for this in my house. He doesn't have a use for this in his house. But we took measurements, and this would fit in the shower of the RV. So our plan was, if we could get this for $100, $150, something like that, we were going to buy it, put it in the RV, put it in the shower, and play it on the way home. So what happened was one of the other local guys started bidding on it as well. And it turned out he actually wanted it. He wanted it for his house. So here's the thing. We were buying it for a joke. We would buy it, put it in the RV, and then once it got here, it's going to sit in a corner, sit in not a closet, but sit somewhere. We wouldn't love it. You know what I mean? And this other guy, one of the Chads, he actually wanted it for his house to play. And so Jeff and I, real quick, we were like, man, let's just let him have it. So we quit bidding, and he was able to get it at a good price. And so that went to him. As every retro gamer knows, there is always for every good retro gamer, there's a good woman behind him, and this is Eep on the left. That is Boat's wife, and on the right, that is Teresa. That is the Brent's wife. And multiple times throughout the show, they were back here. This was kind of at the back of the room, and Back here was a bathroom, which was very, very nice and convenient. This was the door that went out, but there was a kitchen area in there with a sink and stuff like that. Terry, sorry. Terry, not Teresa, Terry. With an I, she did tell us. Let's see. And there's also a freezer back, or a fridge, like a chest refrigerator that there were drinks and stuff in. And then there was some top shelf liquor. Some of this was stuff that Level Lord brought, but it was just really nice and convenient to have those things there. By the way, they were selling coasters. So one of the other things I bought, which I just pulled out of my bag earlier. So you can maybe you can order these from the guys. I don't know how you're going to get one if you're not going to get one at a show. But I got my ARG Presents coaster. These were $3. Good deal. And I always have coasters. Oh, what a deal. Good deal. It's fun to have stuff that your friends make sitting around, you know? Let's zip through the end of this. There's an Amiga. May have heard of them. That was what's this Amiga? Is this the CD TV? I think that this was back here. This is the 4000, and then this was the look at that right there. Lots of weird, rare, cool things. Anyway, a few more shots of the room. This is a guy named Rodney. Is he on the forum? Is he around? So this was the nicest guy, the world's nicest guy. This guy's name was Rodney. And that's Aaron interviewing him. We did this, they did a big interview with him, talked to him about his history with computers and the Amiga and all these things. Super nice guy. And then we all went to dinner, and they took this kind of a back road way to get to the restaurant. And he was in one of our brand new Camaro, or in the new style Camaro, and hit a pothole and bent the whole front end of the car. And I guess it bent like the intercooler, and the car was like not drivable and it had to be towed. And it was, if you've never seen anybody feel worse about someone else's situation than Aaron, who was almost distraught. That was, trying to, you don't feel responsible, but it's like your thing, and we were searching for a local place and all this. Now I did hear, there was enough people, and I believe it got taken care of. Like, the guy was not abandoned, you know what I mean? But it was just it was definitely an unfortunate incident. And it's just one of those things that happened. Like, it wasn't anybody's fault. But you do feel bad when somebody drives, they come a long way and they come to a thing and then something bad happens. This is the Retro Rewind Table of Doom up here. There's various things in various states of disassembly and repair, and these guys work the whole show repairing stuff. So you bring things in, they fix it. I don't know if some of the stuff, I don't know if they charge for parts. I never saw them charge for anything. They looked at my Commodore and then it gave it back to me and said it's good to go. They sponsor the Amigos, they sponsor ARG Presents, and all I can say is, they're super good at what they do. If you're looking for, getting your machines repaired or whatever, I would have no problem sending stuff to them and letting them do the repairs. There's Jason Warrens and Level Lord, who are at two different levels in this picture. Level Lord, I can't do his accent right now because he's was it Serbian? But he's good. That guy has got so many crazy stories, and he is another one that's just like leads with his heart. Just a super nice guy, just a friendly. That you gotta. I learned that last year at Boatfest. You gotta be careful not to compliment anything, because then he'll try to give it to you. Like, he had all these. He was like, I got these handmade bowls. These are handmade wooden bowls. They're very, a lot of work goes into these. They make them and they put stacks in them. I go, oh, those are nice. He goes, you could have them. I go, no, I don't want them. I'm just saying they were nice. No, you take them. I'm like, no, I don't want your stuff. But he brings liquor, like Serbian liquor, to share and all this stuff. It just and he brought his whole family this time on vacation. But just one of the nicest guys in the biz. Just a super super fun and super nice guy. There's a couple guys, Mitsuyama, hanging out there at the front by the repair table, and then you could kind of see the interview that Aaron was doing with Rodney up on the screen. So on that screen up there, things were also taking place up there. There's an ARG Presents sign up there as they're getting ready for the ARG Presents spinning of the wheel show. This is kind of a look from the front of the room all the way back. You could see that there were those leather couches and chairs, so there's all kinds of seating and stuff for people to watch the shows. There was a trivia contest that was done up there. They did shows. I did a Sprite Castle that was up there. This was, I think this must be during the auction, yeah, because you could see the Brent. If you watch ARG Presents, there's the Brent up there in the upper right-hand corner. I think I'm a little bit, there he is. The Brent is up there, and then there's Boat kind of as the MC. Yeah, it went super smooth. Jeff and I later said, we were like, I can't believe there wasn't a single problem at the auction. It was so good. Yeah, the Curtis says those leather couches were way too comfortable, and he is right. I found myself every time I got there just starting to slump over and over. This is just some pictures of the auction going on. This is a drive home. Me and Jeff in the RV. We kind of took turns driving and had a good time. By the way, this was a fly shooting pistol, which it turns out did not work very good. I thought it would work better, but you had to kind of hit it like right at a 90-degree angle. And there was one time it was a direct hit. I hit the fly, and then it just kind of stumbled around and then flew off. So it didn't really have the power that we needed. And then this is some repairs to the RV that we can't really talk about. And I think this is the same, from the same set of photos, yeah, as the that one that we saw at the beginning, the one that said Boatfest. Oh, and then I got a couple of pictures. I borrowed a couple of pictures from, I think they were from Boat's group. But this was dinner at Thai Valley Kitchen. This is a local Thai restaurant that we all went to. And like, this restaurant has a wall here that kind of divides it in half. But as you can see, we took up half the restaurant. I mean, I'm back here. There's Jeff. I think Aaron was at our table and Matt, but you can see all the way, like, here's Frank and Curtis and Mitsuyama. And, I mean, like, we have this whole thing. There's Adam, like the whole group, was in here. So, I feel like I don't know. I don't know if it makes a difference, but, I feel like we maybe this much made a positive impact on Hurricane, West Virginia. We ate at three different restaurants. At three different restaurants, we took 30 people to three local restaurants. I don't know about Fat Patties. I know this is a locally owned restaurant. I don't know about Whiskey Taco. I know we went to a local coffee shop one morning. I know we went to Biscuit World. When I went to Biscuit World, Jeff and I went to Biscuit World for breakfast. And when we went in there, Pat Billy and his brother were in there eating. So, I mean, it's, you know, I don't know what the final count was, somewhere between 40 and 50 people. But we had 50 people that spent 3 days in this town at hotels and spending money and stuff. And I would say... yeah, the pizza. There was a pizza place within walking distance that people kept going down there. You know, so I mean, I would say, and for what it's worth, I did not run into a cross person, not just at the convention, but in Hurricane. I mean, I'm sure they exist, right? And they were probably all talking bad about us when we walked to the restaurant. They're like, 40 people and no reservation. What are you doing? But. You know, I mean, we asked some people for directions. Yeah, the mayor came by, you know, to come see what was going on. Like, it was just this thing where I felt like we, you know, I think we were good. I can't think of the word, but like representatives, you know what I mean, of retro computing and stuff. Like, we came into the town and we were just, you know, everybody, like all of our group was polite and people spent money and everybody tipped everybody, you know, but Hurricane, the people of Hurricane were generous and nice to us, as well, you know? So, I think I've run so long on this that, that I probably will just, I think we might just call it. I was going to play Pirates, but I mean, I've been playing Pirates for 2 hours, and I don't have that in me at this point. So, yeah, I think I know Steel Rat had a good time. You know, it's so fun too because so many of my podcasts have stories where I start out and I say, my buddy Jeff, you know, and you may have that person in your life where it was like your computer buddy, like you grew up and it was the two of you, you know, and Jeff was that guy for me, you know, and so it felt so good to, this may not be exactly the right term, but to show him off, you know what I mean? To say, this is my buddy Jeff, the guy that I'm always talking about, you know, and Jeff is not, I don't think, particularly nostalgic about some of this stuff. You know, he doesn't still have his Commodore. I don't think he plays retro games. In fact, we were talking about games and he said he's put 70 hours into the brand new Diablo game. And he plays a lot of computer games like with his son or with his kids and stuff. So that's more his jam. But he you know, he appreciates everyone's level of affection for the old machines. And also he was really impressed by the repairs and that kind of stuff. You know, that's the kind of stuff that interests him. He probably, you won't catch him this weekend with a Atari joystick in his hand, but he will probably at some point have a soldering iron in his hand. So, yeah, I think that was, I thought it was a good time. I wish it wasn't quite so far away, but what are you going to do? You know, I don't know what, hopefully, based on everything that I saw this year, hopefully that that they will have a Boatfest again next year. Hope Drazoo and some of the guys, Oram made it the first year and couldn't make it this year, and those guys were both missed. And then, but it was so much fun seeing all the people, you know, and Dave, I don't know, and Foosballer, if you guys, you know, end up making it out there, but it really was fun, you know, and if that's, like I said, it's hard to explain. Like when you tell your wife, you're like, I'm going to drive 1,000 miles and go play video games with old men. And she's like, you could do that here. I'm like, yeah, but it's more than that. It's seeing other people's passion, and it does rekindle you in a way. I get home and I'm like, what am I going to set back up? What am I going to do? I'm not. That's why they don't let me make the posters. But it's like I came home and I was like I've got, put all your stuff back in tubs and you bring it home and you go, I'll put it back out. And then you go, maybe I'll hook something back up in here, or maybe I'll get back on that project, or what am I going to do for next year? How am I going to top Petzl's video toaster display? I'm kidding about that, but you know what I mean? Like what am I going to do? What am I going to bring, that makes people excited next year? So, I thought it is that good, just little, they say like about relationships and stuff, like you got to rekindle the fire every now and then. And that's kind of what Boatfest was for me, is, it just rekindles the fire. Not just the stuff, but the people, and that's the thing is, I think we would have had almost, like if the power had gone out, although we would need the air conditioning because, middle-aged men can get smelly in hot rooms without air conditioning. But if all the computers were turned off, I think we could have had just as much of a good time. And even like later in the evening, nobody was playing games. We're just walking around and having drinks and sharing stories and that kind of stuff. And that part of it is just as much fun. So. Well, man, I think we will call it. I am a little disappointed I was not able to break the high score on Swashbuckler, but I will get started on that. And like I said, I was going to play some Pirates, but it's going to take too long to get into it. My wife and daughter and my kids, they are coming home from vacation tomorrow, so that means tonight I got to finish putting up all the stuff from Boatfest. It's on the dining room table and the kitchen counter, and kind of restore the house. Back the way that it was whenever they left. So that will be tonight's project. So for those of you that made it to Boatfest, it was great seeing you guys. For those of you that didn't, I hope that you got a little bit of a feeling of what it was like, and maybe you guys can make it next year. So I always mean to go through the list here. But thanks everybody for coming in. I see Aaron's still in here, and of course Buck Owens, and Drazoo, and L. Curtis Boyle, and Petzel, and Salted Water. What's up? And Steve Burtz. I don't think I saw you in there, but I might have missed you. And 1010 Texas Foosballer. The Retroist is lurking, and maybe we'll get the Retroist to come next year and come try out some old games. We've got plenty of spare seats, and of course Dave Wild World of Retro is hanging out. So but definitely a fun time. I don't think that I don't know that everybody that goes to these things are extroverts, so that was one thing that but you can still not be a loud, boisterous person like me and still go and have a good time, because there will be other people being loud, boisterous that you can listen to. And everybody was just, I think everybody has the spirit, if that makes sense. Everybody, like, nobody's there like, oh, you like Commodore, you're stupid, or yeah, I don't like that, or you know what I mean? It's never like that. Everybody just kind of embraces, just the general passion of retro computers, and everything else is just flavors, so. Anyway, thank you guys for coming in. If anybody wants to, I know Steel Rat's busy tonight, so if anybody else wants to come over and help me start cleaning this place up, I will leave the back door unlocked. I've got a new episode of Sprite Castle that I may record late tonight. There's nobody here, so I could stay up all night. So I may record that either tonight or early tomorrow morning. And then we got to figure out a You Don't Know Flack. I may go hit up the Patreon and post a poll for some You Don't Know Flack ideas. I got a couple ideas, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do. So anyway, Thanks, everybody, for coming in, and I will talk to all of you again shortly. Bye.